changing the radio on an IP100 with an external antenna. So first thing we're going to do, obviously, is remove the antenna. You're going to need a 5/8 socket. Sorry, 5/16, not 5/8. Little pair of pliers. And then this is a PH0. So first, we're going to flip over the IP100 and just unscrew the casing. This should take you about maybe 5-10 minutes max. So all 4 screws, as you can see, are out. That's the bottom. Those are the screw holes. Case comes right off. Awesome. Next thing, fingers here. Apply a little pressure. That should pop right out. Next thing we're going to need to do is remove the board from the casing with the 4 screws in the corner. Same screw tip. And that just fell underneath. I don't know if you guys can see this. Pretty simple. All right, so at this point, the whole board, I dropped one of the screws in behind it. The whole board and this wall need to come out. Before we do that, we're going to loosen this nut. Put that up to the side. Obviously, put all your screws and everything in a small container if you're doing this kind of out and about. So now it's detached from the board. That's the base. And this sidewall, now we can slide that right off. So that's gone. Now we have just the radio and the board. This is your network card, just so you know. All right, so this, just kind of rock it back and forth very gently, holding both sides, almost pinching it a little, and just. So then, obviously, we're going to do the same thing in reverse. This little grip ring should be on the inside of the wall. Pretty sure you can see that. The teeth should face the wall. If you look at it, it's kind of, they push out to one side. So that side should be facing the wall. So we're going to pretend this is my new radio. I'm going to do the exact same thing in reverse, except for I'm going to gently push it, well, place it on top of all the holes. You have to make sure you don't bend any of the legs. That's one of the big problems that people will have with these chips. So you just want to make sure they're all aligned. They're all looking good. And I'm just going to push down evenly with my thumb. Should go right into place for the most part. Now, I'm going to take that external wall with the grip ring on the inside. And that nut. Pop that back on. Sorry, you probably can't see that. And tighten it up. You might have to adjust this a little bit. You do need to actually push it over the casing for this and this. So see how they're off? I'm just making sure it's good and snug. Tighten it up. Now I'm going to place it back in that groove. So as you can see, there are 2 grooves, one here, one here. So I'm going to place it back in that groove, like so. See how it's flush? I'm going to go back and put the board screws in, just so we see the board screws. Like I said, the corners. Woo! Can't take me anywhere. That's what happens when you forget that it's not attached. So at that point, careful about over tightening these. I mean, it shouldn't damage anything, but I mean, just err on the side of caution anyways. Last thing you want to do is put in some work and then make it less functional than before, that's for sure. And so I lied about the pliers. You actually need that if you were doing anything with the network card, which we shouldn't be at this time. So, same thing I'm doing on this side. I could have done this before, which probably would have been easier. But if I didn't, and I forgot, I'm literally just trying to align the bottom half with that groove as best I can. I just kind of flex it a little bit out. And it should basically go right in where it needs to go. Again, cover right on top, making sure that the grooves on the upper half align. Here at snap, I can look and see that everything is closed appropriately. Nothing is protruding aside from what needs to protrude. And then lay it on its back. And put your screws back in. Now, if at any point you have any silly moment where you forget which one's the old and which one's the new radio, first of all, I'd mark them as soon as I get them, just for yucks. This is the new radio, so you don't in any way mix it up. But in addition to that, you can power it up. Obviously, without the cover on, I would recommend having the board screws in place so that if nothing else, you don't have any issues with your board itself. And that is how you switch your radio.